This is the NEO80 CU. It's a TKL-sized mechanical keyboard from QWERTY Keys. It's wireless, has multiple mounting options. It has premium design and finish, it's soft, it types well, and it sounds great. Starting around $200, you will not find anything better in this class. Just buy it because it probably is the most logical option. I can literally end the review like right here. I can probably say the same thing about every recent QK board and it'll probably hold true. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Welcome back to the channel, guys. This is Scott K. Reviewing this latest creation, the NEO80 CU by QWERTY Keys, it made me come to a realization. Oh my god, QWERTY Keys is Toyota, and this is the Toyota Camry of keyboards. What the hell are you talking about, Scott? Well, hear me out right here. I don't think in the history of mankind anyone has ever said, OMG, the new Camry is coming. I wonder what kind of surprises it'll come with. No. Everyone just expects that it's gonna be reliable, comfortable, sensible, and a safe choice of a car. That is what the newest NEO80 CU is. In fact, all QK ports, they're all Toyota Camrys. Nothing wrong with that, just good old Camrys that get incrementally better with each iteration. I almost want to say, if you have seen one, you probably have seen them all. If you recall, I said the original NEO80 was a near perfect keyboard, and you know what? It truly was. One thing that it only kind of lacked was a little bit bland in terms of style, but it did the whole keyboarding thing like flawlessly. The NEO80 CU, it's the same, except that it's a little less bland and a whole lot heavier, but it still nails the keyboarding thing like flawlessly. We'll start here with the case because honestly, I think compared to the old one, this is the biggest change. This is a 10-pound keyboard. You heard that right. It's heavy as probably 3 normal weight keyboards you can buy, because heavier is more premium, right? It owes its heft to the fully copper bottom. Normally, I would say you can go partial copper, but as we have learned from Tropic Thunder, you never go full copper, because it kills the sound. But QK is QK, so they will find a way, right? Finish is great as always, and like with all the other QK stuff, and the design is actually leaps and bounds better than the simpleton NEO80 from the past. Soupy sides made of copper, the triple stack material sandwich in the back, as well as the 18mm front case height. I have the version here with the PVD mirror stainless steel finish, but you do have more options if this doesn't tickle your fancy, but this is a gorgeous finish. Finally, the subtle cues of a celestial theme runs along the top and the sides, as well as the lower weight, as you can see right here. What is interesting though is that QK decided to do away with the ball and catch quick release mechanism and use some good old inner perimeter screw mounting. But why? Probably because this can top mount, and we all know what happens when you put top mount and ball and catch together. Doesn't work. Speaking of mounts though, the NEO80 CU, you can do 3 different styles. Obviously, the aforementioned top mount is one of them, as well as a standard silicone gasket mount, and dun dun dun, return of the OG pour-on gasket. Although QK decided to not use adhesives with the pour-on gasket and just kind of like friction fits into the case instead, but you know what, it works. Both the pour-on and the gasket actually fit straight onto the PCB. So PCB mounting, plateless is possible. Speaking of the PCB though, it's pretty standard, but it's no longer the signature Neo white color. Not sure why they did away with that. Regardless, it has south-facing hot swap, no perky RGB, in standard 1.6mm thickness with no flex cut, so very Neo. Like most QK boards out there, both the PCB and the case uses magnetic connectors instead of the standard ribbon. Okay, so this is actually exciting right here, the plates. I have 2. There's a lot more options, but I have 2, the aluminum as well as the PEI. Let's quickly cover the aluminum first. Yes, we know this material. However, QK decided to up the engineering with strategic cuts, as well as like the springy support mechanism by the spacebar to provide a better feel while keeping everything steady. Finally, they added a chamfer to make it look nicer, like some trim on a Toyota Camry. However, what got me actually excited wasn't that, it was this. PEI. PEI is a polyetheramide. It's a thermoplastic. It's used to make stuff like in the medical instruments, aerospace applications, as well as some engine components for its excellent strength and stiffness, as well as its heat resistance. So yes, it's kind of like polycarbonate but slightly stiffer. Might yield a higher pitch, but we'll find out. The big elephant in the room. Many fully copper bottom keyboards I have tested recently, they were not that great, especially in the sound department. It's just way too heavy of a material and too dense. It makes the keyboard sound dull and dead. What about the NEO80 CU? Not quite, because they actually use an acoustic chamber. It helps to create resonance, which amps up the volume and sound in an otherwise very dense material that's really hard to excite. So, I built this thing out in multiple flavors for you, all you. Let's check it out. Okay, so I decided to please as many of you as possible. I know there are some people that cannot be pleased, not you guys. Foam and foamless builds, both of them. I started with a set of Neo white linears because it seemed appropriate for a Neo keyboard. And since we all know what aluminum plates sound like, I went with the new PEI instead. Plus, since every Neo board I have tested so far, it fares fine with no foam. It doesn't really need it. So we're gonna start with no foam first because I like that, and it's my video. So the first iteration is the foamless build with the silicone gasket mount. I finished the look with the classic DCX White on black with some Osume mango accents to add a little bit of color. It also kind of matches together with some of the accents of the keyboard. I think it works fine. As expected, from all QK boards, it has a nice dampened feel. But what about the sound? Because that's what we're trying to figure out, right? Let's check it out. As expected, the keyboard sounds great with no foam. Wow, surprise. And despite the copper bottom, the NEO80 CU delivers a strong sound. I didn't really expect any less, honestly. I don't think they're gonna release a keyboard that didn't do it. One thing you should consider though is that PEI with the silicone gasket, it creates like an interesting twang. The PEI plate does sound cleaner than PC in my opinion, and it has a more lively feeling plate. It just feels kind of energy charged. Now, I'm going to go to the OG now, the pour-on gaskets. Once again, I keep it foamless, but I swapped the silicone for the pour-on, and now we're gonna check this out. So this is quite interesting. You'd expect that pour-on would make the sound a little more muted, right? Because of the material, but I feel that the pour-on actually makes the keyboard sound crisper and also cleaner. And since it's softer, there's less also gaskets being used in this situation versus the silicone. It does offer a more softer and bouncier typing experience versus the silicone gaskets. Between the two, in my opinion, pour-on is the way to go. It's a better option. Finally, yes, many of you guys have accused me of hating foam. Scott is a foam hater. He never uses it. Just for you guys, I did a foam build. Case foam as well as the plate foam to load her up. Kept the gasket to pour on since I felt that was nicer. So here you go with the foam loaders. Lovers. Another interesting caveat, you would expect the foam build to sound foamy, but instead, the application of foam in the NEO80 CU actually kind of dampens the overall sound and the sharpness and the twang and mutes it down. So in this situation, you're not really modifying the sound to make it foamy and marbly and stuff, but rather you're kind of taming it. So it's good to know, right? Different keyboards with different stuff with foam, and this one obviously does that. So, after all this, I am still standing by my claim. The NEO80 CU is the Toyota Camry of keyboards. When QK teased the NEO80 CU, I don't think anyone really thought something crazy was going to come out. Rather, a predictable, reliable, and a good keyboard for a good fair price. Like a Camry. And that's exactly what QK delivered. The Camry is not a Lambo, but it never was trying to be one in the first place. The Neo is not a Neubauer Seneca. but it'll do what keyboards are supposed to do day in and day out. Be a keyboard and type stuff without breaking your fingers. With that, this is a safe and logical choice for most people, and most likely won't ever deviate from this philosophy ever. Even with the newer versions in the future, maybe next year, 2 years, 3 years, 10 years later, it's probably gonna all follow the same philosophy. Is that good? Is that bad? I don't know. Leave your comments below. But all in all, you're getting something close to like a $400 or $500 keyboard for half the price, even just looking at the materials. As usual, if you enjoyed this video, then you are a lover of Toyota Camrys. Just kidding. You know what's up. Thanks.